Rishi Sunak hit back at Andrew Marr's economic warnings of collapse in the UK, insisting that all forecasts point to Britain emerging at the top of the economic leadership next year. The British Chancellor Rishi Sunak schooled Andrew Marr after the BBC host cited reports that Britain's economy is likely to suffer the worst damage from the COVID-19 crisis of any country in the developed world. Mr. Sunak hit back at these claims, and insisted Marr should have read the full report, which showed Britain would experience the best comeback of any country. The senior cabinet figure said that over the next 2 years, we will emerge at the top of the list among the large world economies. Reports this week of an economic recession sparked fears in the UK, following news that the country's economy shrank by 20.4% in April, the largest monthly contraction on record. This was followed up by a report by the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD) showing that a slump in Britain's GDP would outstrip the drops in France, Italy, Spain, Germany and the US. However, Mr. Sunak hit back at claims of economic collapse, insisting that the same report showed Britain would bounce back better than any of its economic rivals. Marr told him, besides from having the worst per capita death rate of almost any country in the world, the OECD thinks we will have the worst economic outcome as this unwinds. The Chancellor responded, "That is not how I would characterize the OECD report. They did say the impact of our economy this year would be particularly significant when compared to our large economy peers. The reason for that is because we are, unlike most other economies, a predominantly services economy. That means, of course, we will be more impacted by shutting down that activity, including retail, consumption, hospitality. But the report also talked about the recovery and we are forecast to have the strongest recovery out of all those large economies. If you look at the next 2 years from the outbreak we will emerge at the top of the list. Also, if you look at employment, the record is much more positive there as well."